Welcome to this live. It's been a while. It's been a while, yes. It's been a while. Thank you for joining in. Welcome to this live. Chef Lizzie. Hi, Chef Lizzie. Please confirm that you can hear me. It's been a while. Thank you for the like. Thank you for showing up. How was the kitchen today? Are you still in the kitchen? How is work going? Thank you, Chef Lizzie. Yes, good to see you. Please confirm that you can hear me clearly. I have some noise at the background, but confirm that you can hear me. Am I audible? Is my audio clear? Chef Lizzie. Yes, good to see you today. Yeah, I need to clean the sweats. Hot. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yes, let me adjust this. I want it to, I want the audio to be very clear. Okay, so thank you. It's the audio okay, very okay. You know, audio is key when it comes to uh, social media, especially on YouTube. Audio is important. Thank you for the like. Thank you for engaging. Work is fine. Thanks for. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so how's it going? It's been a while, really. I just want to see how I can catch up uh, with the community and then every other person that will be joining in. Okay, it's been a while. Wow, it's been a while. I'm not sure, maybe it's about a week or 2 weeks that I've had any live. I can't remember exactly the last time. I'm sure it's up to 2 weeks. So, how's it been with you? Thanks for joining in. Welcome. Welcome. Hey, who is joining in? Where are you joining from? Welcome to this live. Thank you, Chef Lizzie. Yes, sometimes we have plans and then you still have to do all obligations and then some other things come up and then the plan changes. Okay, so but out of my very busy schedule, I still want to get this done. If you are joining in, let's know where you are joining us from. This is live from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining this live. We are looking at a very important topic this evening, but I want to connect again. Many people have missed me. Chef Lizzie has missed our connection. It's been a while. Of course, I show up on our live sometimes. Okay, but if you are there and you're already a member of the community, let me know how it's been with you. How is your health? How are you doing? How are you working with your goals? Okay, or your plans for 2025? This March already. Almost talking about uh, mid-March already, and then before you know it, you are moving into the mid part of the year. So how's it been with you? And I hope you are doing well, and I can see that we have a number of people already joining in. It's good to catch up again. Please let me know where you are watching from. Ah, it's been a while. I missed you all. Okay, it's been fine. Thank you, Chef Lizzie, for the feedback. It's been fine. Yes, thank God. Thank you for the feedback. Okay. Have you actually experienced depression before, or you know someone that has had that experience or is currently experiencing depression? This is an important discussion for them, for us all. Okay, how to overcome depression. And then it's important for us to really look at these aspects of our health. And it's a mental health issue, and all over the world people have mental health issues. What do you think? People have mental health issues. Mental health, you are as healthy as your thoughts. Okay, so we are talking about thought patterns, we are talking about how individuals feel, we're talking about how individuals act. Okay, reflecting whether they are excited, happy, or unhappy. Talking about being sad. Okay, so all over the world, mental health uh, issues are common, even in the United States of America, which has the greatest percentage of persons with mental health challenges. Okay, so I'll be giving us some statistics, and like I said, if you are here and you have experienced depression before, then you know that it's not a pleasant place to be. It's not a pleasant experience. And then you know someone that has been, if you may even be a medical professional, you may be a medical doctor here, you may be a nurse, you may, whatever it is in the medical field, you may not even be a medical professional, but the fact that you have seen or you even have a relationship with someone who has experienced depression or is currently experiencing depression, I mean, you know what that means. It takes a toll on them. It affects other aspects of their lives. So this is something that we should be talking about. And I'm here to actually guide the discussion this evening. So if you are there and then you have had any experience, you can drop it. You can drop your question. You can share your experience, and then we move. Okay, so just like I said, that this is a mental health uh, issue, the problem that affects everyone at different times, irrespective of location, irrespective of age, irrespective of status, rich, young, middle age, or old. Okay, so people experience this at different times in their lives and for different reasons. Just give me some time. What do you want? Okay, meet your mom. Meet your mom. I don't think I have what you want here. Okay. Thank you. Okay. The children need attention. Okay, meet mom. What do you need? What do you what? Okay. Okay. Let me tell you where you can get. Yes, thank you for staying tuned. Needed to give the children some attention. Okay, so there are various factors that, as I was saying, various factors affect or determine whether a person is mentally fit or not. Okay, different factors. including but not limited to biological or genetic influences. If someone in a family has experienced depression in that generation in the past, it is possible that subsequent generation, someone in the next or any other generation following, could actually have that experience too. Okay, there is that genetic factor, there is the biological factor in terms of the makeup of individuals, the brain, and all. Some people have that tendency. There are other factors, including the environmental factors, the stress factor, whether economic factor, financial factor, it may even be marital factor, talking about relationships, talking about interactions with other people. Okay, it could even be challenges with jobs. Some people are not able to secure jobs at this time, and it could get them into depression. It could even be related to some other medical conditions. Okay, if somebody has hypertension or diabetes that is poorly managed or not being well controlled, then they are also likely, there's a tendency, there's that risk of getting into depression. Okay, and if an individual develops a complication from any medical condition, they could also get into depression. Okay, so many factors will be responsible for people getting into depression. But I want you to know that from statistics, globally, 5%, actually 5% of adults have actually depression. The figures may not actually be at this time, may be specific, but about 5% of persons are said to be experiencing depression all over the world. Now, it is said that even during the COVID era, the cases of depression actually increased because, of course, so many things happened during that period. People lost their jobs, people could not go out, financial matters, challenges with feeding, so many issues. The fear of COVID itself, you know, brought depression. It brought anxiety to some and then led to depression in some other people. Okay, please confirm that you can still hear me. I hope I'm still audible. Okay, thank you for the likes. If you are joining in, let me know where you are joining from, and let me know if you can hear me. Am I audible? So it is said that in terms of countries, Ukraine actually has the highest numbers in terms of recorded rates at 6.3%, while America, United States of America, if you are in America or Ukraine, let's know in the comment, let's know in the chat. Ukraine has the highest, actually 6.3%, while United States of America has, next to Ukraine, about 5.9% of population being affected by depression. People are suffering from depression. Okay, and we'll be getting information on, I've mentioned the likely risk factors, and then there are symptoms of an individual with depression. Still talking about the distribution. Now, in terms of gender, women are said to experience depression more than men. Approximately about 20% of women experience depression compared to men. Okay, so you can see how we need to pay attention to the female folks, female gender, and then how we need to help and give support as much as possible. Okay, then it is said that the LGBTQ community, those who identify themselves as lesbians, gay, bisexual, about 50% of them as adults are also noted to have a of depression. These are interesting statistics. Interesting statistics. So about 21 million individuals in the United States are currently experiencing depression. Can you see? Now, it doesn't matter, the location doesn't matter really, even though factors, as I've mentioned, can influence a person getting a trigger or having a risk of developing or getting into depression. Okay, but irrespective of location, the factors are not they are not just specific. They are in terms of they are actually multifactorial for many people. It's not just one factor that may lead to depression, but there may be major factors or influences that will trigger an individual getting into depression. Okay, so in Nigeria, you need to know this. If you are watching from in Nigeria, or you are a Nigerian, approximately 3.9% of the population is affected by depression. 3.9% of population is affected by depression. According to statistics in India, 4.5% of the population experiences depression. I'm just giving us general information on depression. People in different places, different parts of the world, even in the United Kingdom, approximately 4.5% of the population is also being affected by depression. 4.4% in Kenya, approximately 4.6% in Uganda. So if you're African, whether you are European, you are Asian, different parts of the world, people experience depression. So what exactly is depression? I'm going to break it down, moving from the fact that it is known as a mental health disorder or condition. It is actually a constellation of different symptoms, and that those symptoms include that an individual showing symptoms of unhappiness, just talking about sadness rather than just saying unhappiness. If you are not happy, you are just sad. And at one time or the other, individuals experience sadness, but when it becomes persistent, when it becomes something that continues for even longer than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, months, an individual just being sad every time, even when other people around are happy. There are even reasons why the individual needs to be happy, yet they are not excited about life or situations around them. So that is one symptom. And another is low energy. If you find yourself just lacking energy and you are not just active as you used to be, or someone that is not no longer as active as they used to be, such an individual may be experiencing depression. Loss of energy, loss of interest in the things that they normally would love to do. For example, some people like socializing, going to parties, and you just find out that the individual is no longer interested. In fact, avoiding people, avoiding interacting with people that normally the individual would interact with. Such experience may mean that an individual is experiencing depression. It may even be sports. It may be a particular activity. It may be swimming. It may be even watching favorite what do you call it now? Maybe the person has favorite series. Yeah, series that you are watching on TV. No longer interested, not because something has changed, but because there's something happening within. And when something is happening within, it will reflect, you know, something is happening in the inner man, in the inner person. It will reflect in the way the person acts. So it affects the thinking pattern of the individual, talking about depression, and then the way the individual feels, then the way the individual acts. So these are areas to note when it comes to individuals experiencing depression. So once this sadness persists, lots of interest in things that normally the person is interested in. Person does not want to gather with others. Lots of low energy, just feeling weak, tired, complaining, and in fact, the person may even be losing uh, their 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 attendance in different activities, legitimate activities, maybe their business, their job, maybe school, it may be work. Person begins to lose their effectiveness in their work or school, then such persons may be experiencing sadness. Now, I said earlier that people experience sadness at one time or the other. If you have been there before, you can drop in the chat. Have you ever experienced sadness? Okay, but that you experience sadness for a period, if you have ever lost a loved one, if you have at one time or the other lost someone dear to you, definitely that's a moment or a period of sadness. Okay, but it's not expected to persist. There is normal grief and there's abnormal grief. So you don't continue to mourn and withdraw, and then some people even lose appetite for food, interest in things that they would normally do. So if an individual has this experiences longer than usual, then they are maybe diagnosed of depression. We are talking depression. Welcome. Thank you for joining this live. We are talking about depression, how to overcome depression. I've done some introduction and then giving some important statistics on depression. It affects people all over the world. So let me know what your thoughts are on depression. And then, do you know that there are people that are actually depressed and they don't know? So that's why the diagnosis is usually actually made by a professional. But with this kind of education, communication, you can actually identify if you are experiencing that or you know someone that is. Please confirm that you can still hear me. I want to be sure that I'm audible. Hope you can hear me. Please let me know in the chat. Am I audible? Let's know where you are joining from. Hey, Doc Charlie is here. Wow, a number of people joined in already. Tracy, Mama Tracy, thank you. Thank you for the like. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you. Good to see you. Doc Jolly. Hey, nice having you here. Thanks for joining in. Hello, Doc Jolly. Thank you so much. We are talking about depression, and then there are different types. Actually, I want to bore us with the different classifications of depression: major depressive disorder, there's something called seasonal affective disorder, SAD, persistent depressive disorder, bipolar depression. These are different classifications that a doctor would help to determine a person's uh, own place or diagnosis, and then the appropriate management. So what are the signs and symptoms of depression? They are actually emotional symptoms. As I mentioned earlier, there's the aspect of feeling. It may result from the feelings that come from the way a person is being spoken to. There's the aspect of verbal abuse, there's the aspect of physical abuse, there's the aspect of sexual abuse. People, I need to mention that there are some people that actually get into depression because of a traumatic experience. you know I mentioned people losing loved one, somebody close to you, or to a person. It may even be parents, aged parents. Some people, they were so close to their parents, and then the parents passed on, and then they seem not to be able to get out of that grief or mourning mode. The sadness is just there. They are losing interest in things that they will normally be interested in. At such a time, people need support, and they need to actually get to see their doctor. Okay, so we need to fight, because there are other things that can happen when an individual persistently is in depression. There is the risk of suicide. Okay, there is the risk of suicide. So it is important to identify these symptoms: persistent sadness, feeling of emptiness, worthlessness. That shouldn't be happening to anyone, because God has created each and every one of us good, perfect, fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what the Bible says. Okay, so if you or someone that you know begins to talk about feeling empty, it can happen in a period and then the person overcomes. But if it persists, going into weeks, months, person begins to say they are feeling unworthy. It doesn't matter what it is that has happened, they need to be checked appropriately. They need support. So, feeling of hopelessness. Some people feel that they cannot achieve anything in life. They feel that uh, life is against them and all. So, such persons may be having symptoms related to depression, and then these are emotional symptoms. Feeling of guilt. Even some people actually, it's feeling of guilt that gets them to depression. Loss of interest or pleasure in activities. I mentioned that earlier. And there are physical symptoms. I need to mention physical symptoms of depression. This includes fatigue, low energy, just feeling tired, doing something little, yet feeling so tired. These are symptoms of depression. Some people complain of sleep disturbances. Insomnia is actually either the inability to achieve sleep or sustain sleep, inability to get into sleep or sustain sleep. So when a person begins to have sleepless nights, some may even experience nightmares. They are likely to be experiencing depression. These are symptoms of depression. I also need to let you know that loss of appetite, as I mentioned, appetite for food, it may even be appetite for sex, it may be appetite for the things that normally the individual enjoys. These are symptoms of depression. Headaches, body pains, abdominal pains. When people talk about feeling dizzy, of course, there are consequences of these other symptoms in the individual. Next are cognitive symptoms. What are these? Symptoms that have to do with mental alertness and the ability to process information. Some people, they are just distracted. You just find out that it looks like they are not concentrating. It looks like they are losing touch with their environment. It looks like they are not able to connect with what is happening with themselves, and with people around them, or even with situations around them. You are even talking about the country, what's happening, family matters. They seem to not be connected. They are like they've lost touch. Okay, such persons may be experiencing depression, and these are cognitive symptoms: loss of concentration, difficulty. Even such people may even be a student that is not able to concentrate, to study, to grasp information and relate appropriately with others. Such persons may be experiencing depression. So that's why you need to be careful. I say careful how you relate with people. You need to watch how you relate with people. You need to have that um, space and consideration. You don't know what an individual is going through in themselves, with themselves, with their life, relations, business, different aspects, their health. You don't know what people are going through. So we need to be sensitive. So it's very important. Such persons may also be indecisive. They find it difficult to take decisions that will help them, they themselves, and even those that they are responsible to or responsible for. So this can happen in parents, for example, or a caregiver that is not just able to do the needful in caring for the children or people that they are accountable to or for. So these are some symptoms, cognitive symptoms. I mentioned earlier that there's a tendency, if not properly managed, there's a tendency for individual with depression to begin to have suicidal thoughts. Suicidal thoughts. There's a tendency. Let me ask, for those who are watching for the first time, if you are yet to subscribe, and if you have been on this live, you are yet to subscribe, I want to ask that you subscribe, so that we have you as a member of this community. We can go together on this health, wellness, and lifestyle matters. We have a wonderful growing community, more than 2,000 right now, then still counting. Okay, so I want to invite you to be part of the community. Okay, subscribe now. Okay, so I just put up a poll. Yes, for those everyone on the live, if you are subscribed, let's know in the poll. If you are just subscribing, let's know in the poll. Okay, so, and you can just drop your comments if you have any experience you want to share with us, or any question related to this topic, overcoming depression. We are still looking at what depression really is, symptoms of depression, and then we will be looking at how to overcome, how to, the plan of God for us actually is to be joyful. The Bible says, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So anything that attacks the body of a man or woman, attacks the mind of a man or woman, that affects their emotions negatively, that even may make them to begin to think of committing suicide, it's not from God. Definitely, that's from the devil. So, but we need to identify that there are some factors that can trigger and get an individual into this situation, this mental health condition. Okay, so you need to note that, as I mentioned earlier, apart from biological factors, genetic factors, there are psychosocial factors that can affect an individual's getting into depression. There is also substance abuse, which is also very common. Substance abuse can also get an individual into depression. Alcohol, drug use, these are some other risk factors for developing depression. Okay, so do you have any comments, question relating to this topic? The important thing we are looking at is how to deal with depression, how to overcome, how to manage. In fact, how to, everything I'll be talking about is also for those, if you are not even experiencing depression, for those who want to avoid getting into depression. Okay, so let's look at these particular points that I'll be raising uh, in this discussion. So there are various ways. Remember to double tap on your screen to like this live. That will help the algorithm to notify more people from different parts of the world to join in this discussion. So we are talking about how to overcome depression. For emphasis, one very important aspect of this, I'm a medical doctor, okay, and I've come across patients, individuals at different times with these symptoms and diagnosis, and of course being managed appropriately. There are people that have actually recovered, there are people that are still being managed, there are people that actually got to the aspect of complications, I mean having suicidal thoughts. Okay, so with these different encounters, experiences, I think it's very important for more education, more information. More people actually need to be helped to avoid getting into depression, to overcome if they are already depressed. Okay, so I want to be sure I can still be heard. If you are there, please let me know. Okay, thank you. Thank you for staying tuned. To confirm that you can still hear me, I want to be sure that my audio is audioing. Permit me. Is my audioing? Please confirm that I'm still loud and clear. My loud and clear. Am I loud and clear on this? Thank you for the sixth like. Okay, I believe I'm still audible. I believe I'm still audible. Okay, so it's important to know that this topic we are talking about depression, overcoming depression. Um, it's not something to label a person with, even though it's a mental health challenge. It is a challenge, as I have called it, a challenge, and challenges are meant to be overcome. Am I right? Challenges are meant. Okay, so just to be sure this audio. Okay, so just to okay. Be sure this audio. The audio is good. There's a feedback here now. Nice, please. There's a feedback. Blah, 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 blah. Mm. Okay, so we are going to have this in a second part. We've had enough on the introductory aspects of depression, the diagnosis of depression, the symptoms, signs. We talked about the risk factors, and we talked about how individuals may manifest in their emotions, in their thinking pattern, and even the physical symptoms of depression. I would like to take questions if you have any. Okay, like I said earlier, it's a challenge, and challenges are meant to be overcome. So, anybody who is diagnosed of depression shouldn't actually be labeled or be avoided. In fact, such person needs support from friends, family, the community. It's not a time to isolate such a person. It's a time to support. It's a time to support. Okay. So we are going to have a part two of this discussion. I'll take a break at this time. Okay. Thank you for joining in. And I will see you later when I come up live. Thank you. Bye for now.